How you doing? Welcome back. This is Dhamma of the Centered Path. We're going through the last section of the 6 realms of Samsara with the wheel that's being turned by Yama up there. We've talked about all of that. We've talked about these different realms through here. And today we get to the last one that I'm doing anyway, because it just kind of makes sense to me because that's where I find myself most of the time, which is the human realm. And in the human realm, we typically will see that we have the opportunity to study and to change and to think and to respond differently. We can choose our responses. Remember these guys down here, the animals, they can't really choose their responses. It's all like very guttural. We have that basic brain, that reptilian brain, for example, of run and hide or fight. It's a very fight or flight. Remember parasympathetics, sympathetics, and all those kind of things. If you've ever taken any of my science of Buddhism kind of stuff, remember this is just basic Buddhist 101. And so here, we're in the human realm. We're in the human realm. We're able to go through our lives. It's an opportunity. Imagine over all of time, and however long you think that is, 9,000 years, 100 billion years, or whatever, it all started with something, a big giant explosion, and then things trickled together and bounced into each other and became part of each other and developed into different things like stars and rocks and trees and pigs and amoebas and mosquitoes and leaves and mold and mushrooms and all of those things. But look, here you are being human. The amazingness of that karma. And karma, remember, is cause and effect. So the amazingness of those things happen. Just the sheer mathematical possibilities of which sperm cell, which was you, the fastest one, that got to your mom's egg that made you. Unless, of course, you're like an in vitro kid and it was just delivered. But still, they had to choose one, right? So you just scoop up one little sperm guy, put it in there, and that met up with half of dad's information and half of mom's information and made you like you are now. The odds of that are astronomically weird. Okay, you can get into that. It's a whole quantum thing and all that stuff, but it's still pretty amazing if you really think about it. Remember, we're talking about meditating and doing some contemplation on these different parts. If we contemplate on the ability that we have of this life to make change, to do things, to stop our own suffering, to help others, to make an influence in the world, right? We can't do it down here. We're suffering. We have a hard time. We're in compulsion land. We're in addiction land down through here. Down this one, man, this is pure hell. And we find ourselves there. We see people there, right? And there's that's a real live realm, man. And over here, the animal realm, very reactionary. It's kind of interesting to see, and we can, we talked about that one. We'll talk about it again. Up here, we had the conflict realm, for example, or the Titans, the realm of the Titans, who are very jealous, and they're always trying to knock these guys down and trying to steal stuff from these guys, which are the kind of the happy, lazy superstar divas up there. But even their existence is impermanent and constantly changing. You don't stay in any of these very long. The wheel's being moved, and the wheel moves, and some of us in this existence, in this body, can bounce around through them, and we can experience these 3 poisons. We can experience all this sort of stuff. Later on, after this one, we're going to start getting into the outer circle, and we'll get into what's called dependent origination. And I'll have a little bit more explanation on that. I'll go through it pretty quick. I only get a few minutes, like 4 minutes or so. I'm trying to keep them low to keep people's interest. But there we go. That's us. That's the human realm. That's the realm where we have the opportunity to do something with our lives. Whether we find ourselves here or here or here or here in our minds, we're still in this realm in existence. And the ability and the possibilities and the opportunities are amazing. So, if you find yourself in one of these, so remember, this is where possibility is at, and you can do it. You can change, you can do these things. We've seen it before. This person, who was a man, right? The Buddha was a person. He became enlightened through his own effort, through his own study, and he told us, you can too. He didn't say, worship me and make statues and stuff like that. Originally, early on, there was no statues of him anyway. There was no pictures. I drew a picture here of a guy, a little happy guy. He's pointing over to the moon. Don't follow that. Don't follow that. Some people focus on the finger. Some people get so excited, focus on the hand. Some people focus on the robe. Some people focus on all this other stuff. They miss that beautifulness of the real truth, of that nirvana, of that enlightenment which comes from yourself. Anyway, this is Dhammajivaka, Reverend Sean of the Centered Path. Go down there and please subscribe if you like. Leave me a comment, leave me a question, leave me, I don't know, a drawing, I don't know, whatever. But I'd love to answer the questions. I've gotten some really amazing ones. I'm really happy about that. I'm so excited that this is kind of doing a little bit better than I thought. I just kind of threw it out there and see what would happen. We have a lot more coming, so stay tuned. Share it, like it, talk about it, meditate on it, right? This is you. How can you change things? How can things change for you? How can you escape suffering? You can if you understand it. And all you got to do is understand. Remember, this is basic. You can start reading and go crazy with this information. And that's what I'd like you to do. Don't go crazy, but just get into the information. Anyway, this is Dhammajivaka Sean, Reverend Sean. I'll see you guys soon. Take care of yourselves. Thanks. Bye.